Hey. Yo, what up, my guy? I'm watching your YouTube.
So how are you? Not bad, not bad. I'll go and grind. We'll become the best friends thing, grind levels, and I'll lead you to your, thing, and not bug you while you're alive. He kept on trolling me earlier by kicking me out of this area and then trying to kill me, and then he sent me a friend thing, and he's like a 193, and it's like he keeps on running to the center area here. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna come over here. Now he keeps on getting. See, he's following me everywhere. Yeah, let's go to the 600 or the 300. All right, now he can't join us. I'm in the 250 or 200 or whatever. What? Oh. There we go. It had somehow it added somebody else as a friend instead of you. No, I got the notification that you were live on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm gonna hop on there and show you some support. He said he's gonna take a break from grinding out levels on Slayer Simulator. He's just, because of the whole lag thing, he's lost his edge. Yeah. He said he's still gonna jump on Slayer Simulator and whatever and hang out with us, but he said he's pretty much gonna sit back for a while grinding out levels. Oh, as I said on the live chat thing, I'm hoping to make, 700-800 today by the end of the day. I can honestly tell you the last 30 levels to get to the 600 was a pain in the ass. Because I had no friends or no best friend thing to get that XP thing. Ooh, how do I mute my voice on your YouTube channel? sound like I'm fighting a cold. You know what I want to do? I want to do what you're doing right now with your alt account and everything. I want to attempt my alt account, but at the same time, I want to stay at level 1 because I use that to get into bot lobbies on a battle royale. That way I can just chill and, you know, get the easy victories and complete all of the quests and all of that shit for the season. Stop swearing while you're live too. Yeah. Yeah, but if you definitely don't want to keep you from getting monetized. Told you I subbed it too. Oh. Oh, hold on a sec. I'll pop up here on the ledge and take a look. You said it's in your comments? On this video or your previous ones? Okay. It says Watashi Myosu yeah. Desma? This makes absolute no sense. It's all random characters. lower two. Okay, so it's Yatsu. Gemma. You probably hear your video feed on my phone, don't you? Hashimo. Yatsu. Oh, you probably said on the thing, "How are you?" And I just realized he said "Watashi tatetsu mas," which means I'm doing well. I had to type it out and go. Okay, at first it didn't look like normal letters. It looks like just random characters in katakana, but from what I can see, he's typing and he's doing well. Tatetsu is very well. So I just did the whole Google Translate thing just to make sure that I was correct, and I was slightly right, but you must have said something before I popped on there on your video feed, and you were talking to him about something because he replied with, "I also take care of them." Yeah. Yeah, I'll close out your video real quickly. That way you're not hearing your own video. But this is what it sounds like.
私もやってます。
Which translates to I also take care of them. I'm guessing he was doing something random or trying to look cool for typing in Japanese and whatever. But typically, you would think with him having a Japanese name tag on, whatever, he would speak a little better. Nihongo. It's probably a Japanese kid. Yeah. Yeah. It probably because you're a YouTube creator playing Fortnite, you got a Japanese kid watching your stream and they just type in whatever's random, or something random in the chat thing. You know how kids are. But Google Translate as well does not do a very good job translating certain words very well. Like one time I typed in "toire wa doko desu ka?" and it should have translated to "where's the toilet?" but it translated out to "I peed myself." Yeah, toire, if you hear somebody say "toire wa doko desu ka?" they're saying "where's the toilet?" and it's like Google Translate, like I said, screws up every now and then. Instead of saying where's the nearest toilet or whatever, it'll jumble up and say I peed myself or I'm about to pee or whatever. That's why I learned Japanese. Wait, what? Toire wa. It's T-O-I-R-E. Toire. Toire wa. Yep. Toire wa doko desu ka? Desu ka. There you go. Yeah. So when you hear somebody say desu ka, they're trying to ask you a question. But if you hear just des, they're saying something, they're replying, or whatever. But if you hear somebody say, "Sumimasen, toire wa doku desu ka?" or you say it slowly, or whatever, just it's kind of weird. So I'd have to actually type it into the chat while you're live so you can actually see what it looks like. Whoa. So if you see that in your or that's how you type in toire wa doku desu ka. I'm gonna turn you down so you're not getting that screeching sound. Yeah, I can go live on YouTube. I thought I already did that. It's asking me to verify my account to start broadcasting on YouTube. I need to verify my account. It's like, dude. The sad thing is I did the whole two-step. So I do the whole verification thing and it says, your phone number was already verified. It's like, dude. Oh my fucking god. I signed into YouTube, you know, and, you know, did the whole verification thing. And as soon as I back out of it and go to broadcast on YouTube, it brings me back to the fucking verification thing. I've done it 4 times now. Even on the PlayStation I did that, and it's giving me the runaround. This keeps up, I might just go live on fucking Twitch. Yeah, so here on the PlayStation it says verify your account. To start broadcasting on YouTube, verify your account with your phone number by visiting youtube.com/verify. Verification is dependent on YouTube and may take longer than 24 hours. And it says go to YouTube website or change service. Well, I click on go to YouTube website and it brings me to the whole verification thing. I log in and everything else, and it's all good to go. And it says your number's, you know, linked and whatever. As soon as I back out though and whatever to get back on the game, it brings me to the whole verify your account thing. I don't know, technology, I guess. For the amount of time I spent trying to verify it was me and, you know, whatever else, I could have already had 15 levels knocked out. Well, the other day, Dio was... The other day, Dio was like, you're stopping at knocking out 20 levels in one shot, you know, and he was like, keep going, and whatever. I'm like, dude, I gotta take a break. I have rheumatoid arthritis in my wrists and knuckles. I have to take a break every now and then just so my hands aren't, you know, hurting. And they were when I did those 20 levels. That's why I had to stop and go onto the cliff and take 5 minutes to let my hands relax. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. It's like, yeah, I told you a couple of days before that I have arthritis. Yeah, I know plenty of people. I've even met people on here on Fortnite that are 60, 70, 80 years old, and they're playing this because not only does it help with the arthritis and easing everything, but it helps with their hand and eye coordination, and it offsets Alzheimer's and dementia by 15 years. also I'll meet a lot of older people that are, like I said, 60, 70, 80 years old, and they're playing Fortnite or Call of Duty or, you know, whatever, just to get that whole hand-eye coordination still on par and keeping their limbs and everything limber and offsetting dementia and Alzheimer's. There is no cure for dementia or Alzheimer's. As a matter of fact, when you get dementia or Alzheimer's, you lose your mind so much, you know, and everything else. Like my uncle, my dad's brother, he actually has the last stage of dementia, and he's actually about to die. You can actually die from dementia and Alzheimer's because it's like a cancer. Like 68, 69 years old. Well, everybody has cancer in them. It's just whether or not the cell decides to activate it at some point in time in your body. Well, sorry if I was quiet for that whole thing, but I do apologize, I guess, for that, and my condolences, man. You might have... Well, and I am who I am, you know. I do my own thing, follow my own path. I know what's right and what's wrong, and everything else. So, man, these guys hit hard. Oh, I'm only in the level 450, not the 600. I just realized that. I was just realized that. I was like, why am I leveling up so slow? There we go, that's much better. Oh, I friended someone yesterday, you know, did the whole best friend thing, and they're high on levels. They were literally 30 levels behind me. Yeah, it was when I started this, I was 580 last night, and I did the whole friend thing with them, and they were 550, and what was their name? I even had them here as an epic friend. They were called Epic Online, or Way Offline. Started with a C. Oh, Sea Hearts. Yeah, I know. I sent them a DM on here, and I'm like, hey, do you know John with the C? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I know him. And I'm like, I know him too. We grind together all the time, and you know this, that, and the other thing, and you know whatever else. But yeah, I best friended him last night. He was level 550, and he was like, I'm gonna only get to the 1,000 mark, and I'm gonna call it quits and focus on rebirthing and whatever else, so I can get the sabers. And I'm like, 1,000? Why not 1,500? That way you have everything unlocked. And he said, I don't know, that seems like a little too much of a grind. And I'm like, well, you remember, I think John warned everybody that once you get to 6, 8, 1,000, it's gonna become a real grind fest for them levels. He's to the point right now. He's so burnt out with Slayer Simulator. He's actually on the, not the main stage. He's on the jam stage, the whole thing where you can go and you can sit on your instruments and do whatever. He's actually on there most of the time. He was on there last night, most of the night, doing that instead of playing Slayer Simulator, even though I was on here. Yeah, it's probably either AFK or he's, like I said, he's just burnt out. And I know about burnouts and everything because I literally, Phantasy Star Online is on PlayStation here. It's an anime JRPG where you can create and customize your own anime character, whether you want to be a husbando or a waifu, and you can run around and grind levels. Well, I played that game. I played it 11 months straight without talking to any of my friends, without doing anything else. I was just playing on that game non-stop. Even after I get home from work, I'm on that game immediately the entire night, grinding out levels and that and the other thing. And after 11 months straight of doing that and running an association, which is like a guild type thing, I got so burnt out. I had, even to this day, which was like 4 years ago, I still had not picked up Sword Art or Phantasy Star Online because I played. Oh yeah, I played, like I said, 11 months straight. Yeah, I even have it installed here on the PlayStation, and I'm thinking about going back on there. And I did go on there once. I did go back on there once just to see, what is on there right now, what the current updates are and everything. And as soon as I popped on there, my previous friends and associates for the guild type thing seen me online, and they're like, "Holy crap, you're back!" And I'm like, I'm just seeing what's new and everything else. So don't expect me to be on here for an extended period of time. I just wanted to see what was new and whatever else. They're like, oh. But I think, like I said, the last time I was actually on Phantasy Star Online 2 was 2, 3 years ago. Wait, you don't have what yet? I seen you were playing Lumber Heroes, what was it, last night? I was actually contemplating on sending you or getting a request to join up with you and trying out Lumber Hero. But then I'm like, maybe you're doing something, or you're just checking something out, or you're saying what's up to some people and whatever. So I was like, I'll just leave you alone and let you do your thing. Oh, I know what that is. I know how that is because I used to play, before I started playing Slayer Simulator here, I was playing Ninja Simulator, where in order to gain levels and points and everything to upgrade everything, you had to smack a dummy to get those and whatever, and currency or whatever it is. And yeah, I did a lot of grinding on that, but no, I tried that Fortnite Expeditions or whatever it is, the new mode where you play in the Lego thing, and I like the Legoland part. It's the new one that just released what, a month ago or whatever it was, where you can actually join into a world, a full like MMORPG type world with like, what was it, like 500 different people, and go fight bosses and enemies and do missions and this, that, and the other thing. I didn't care for it because the weapons suck. Mm-hmm. Well, the funny thing is Star Wars is still in that world right now, and you can run around with lightsabers and whatever, and still do stuff for building Rebel and these bases and stuff. But it's just like, yeah, it's a good way to level up your battle pass and your levels on Fortnite and whatever, but it's just like, I can do it so much faster by playing main stage. or going on my, or inviting my alt account in here, uh, and going to do bot royale, or going into the battle royale with 100% bot lobby where I can just run around, do quests, game levels, get the easy kills and everything else, and get the victory royale and crown victory royale. But I haven't done that since last season. I haven't even touched the battle royale mode here yet. And this has been out for what, almost 2 weeks? Yeah, for this season. I haven't even touched the battle royale for this season yet. Yeah, like I said, I haven't touched it yet. I've been on Player Simulator here this whole time. Or doing, me and Dio actually did main stage last night, 2 nights ago. Yeah. It's pretty damn fun. Well, yeah, because it's all copyright music. The only way you can do that without the sound playing is going onto the YouTube studio thing and doing the whole muting copyright music as it's playing, like I did with my video where I'm playing as Slayer Charlotte here, and I'm doing the Viper emote, and I actually muted the Viper emote, so I'm not getting that copyright claim thing. Yeah, my lobby music and song is Decade from Hatsune Miku. I think it blew Dio's mind last night when I told him that when I'm playing Fortnite here, I'm not playing normal Fortnite, I'm playing Fortnite in straight up Japanese. Any game that I play, just to get used to the controls and how everything is done, I play it in, everything is in English, all of the words and numbers and characters and everything else is in English until I get used to the game. But then once I'm used to the button layout and this, that, and the other thing, I put everything in straight up Japanese. I did it for Fortnite, I've done it for PUBG, Naraka, I've done it for Apex Legends. I've done it for a lot of games. Even the RPG games, I'll put them on straight up Japanese and everything else. Even on Phantasy Star Online, when I was playing that for 11 months straight, it was in Japanese. And I was live on Twitch, and at the time, before it became Facebook Gaming, Mixer, I was live doing that, and everybody was asking me, how the hell can you play this in straight up Japanese? And I'm like, well, considering I can speak and everything and understand it, Oh yeah. Now, obviously, you're used to playing Fortnite and know the buttons, right? You could actually switch on your settings tab, switching everything to straight up Japanese, and playing it, and you'll see what I mean. That literally everything that you see on your screen is in Japanese, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is like playing in English, but you know all of the buttons on the controller. So I had to look this up in my book. So if you see a Japanese person on the game with a Japanese name and they're trying to talk to you and whatever else, if you want to ask them, do you speak English, you would go, Eigo o hanashimasu ka? It's Eigo. So I'll say it and then you repeat with me. Eigo o hanashimasu ka. Yep. Eigo o hanashimasu ka. Eigo hanashimasu ka. Yep. Eigo hanashimasu ka is do you speak English. Eigo is English, and hanashimasu ka is do you speak. Yep. Eigo hanashimasu ka. Or to type it out, on the chat thing here. or simpler terms, I'll put it all in katakana instead of all kanji. That way you're like, oh, okay. He. So. So you see that on the chat? That's what you would say. That's both versions with a kanji, and then the actual hiragana. It's eigo, enigo, or hanasmaka. Or in straight up English, with English letters. Yeah, it's you know, it's the left one is kanji. It's all straight up Japanese kanji. The other one on the right is hiragana. Yeah, it's not using any kanji whatsoever. There's 3 forms of Japanese characters when you're writing or typing. There's hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Kanji is the full-blown characters where you see it on the left with the big, little symbols that look Chinese, because some characters from Japan are actually borrowed from Chinese characters. So yeah, they have 3 forms. There's hiragana and katakana, which is it's the simple versions of Japanese characters, and then kanji is, it's the full blown, yeah. So there, this is what we call when you're typing Japanese in English with English characters, it's called romaji, and it's a very, very bad way of typing in Japanese. But what I'm about to send you here in the chat thing is, this is romaji. This is what you don't want to type for, typing in Japanese, but that's the translation. Yeah, pretty much. It's the English pronunciation of Japanese. And Brian, the fuck? Just for that, I'm gonna send him back. Sashi Su says. Here, you'll like this one. Here you go. So what I just typed in, the first letter is ku, second one is so, third letter is ba, and fourth letter is baka. Kusabaka means dumb shit in Japanese. Or dumb fuck, depending on how you say it. If you say it high, low, high, or low, high, low, it could either mean fuck or shit. Kuso could mean fuck or shit, depending on how you say it. So if you go, Kusabaka, you know, it's you dumb fuck, or Kusabaka, you dumb shit. He's probably sitting there going, okay, what did he just type in on or for that Japanese character at his own name? And he's probably doing the whole translator thing. Oh yeah, if you were to go on a Google Translate now and type in English Kusobaka, it will literally come out as dumb fuck or dumb shit. Oh. Okay, so what I typed in for Kusabaka, it actually means shithead in Japanese. Yep. And it's only but used by men if you say Kusabaka, which says shithead in Japanese. Shithead, fucking shit, very strong, used only by men. Yeah, very, very, yeah. Like most of the time, you'll hear on the anime, you'll hear the women saying, "Oh, sugoi." Women are the only ones that say sugoi. Most of the time, the men are like, "Oh, ah." They don't say sugoi. It's more for women. So when women are or men are surprised and they are like so good, that's what sugoi is. It's so good. When men say something along the lines so good, they go or they go they just say a syllable, or it's like saying whatever. Yeah, or if somebody's confused, and whatever else, they'll go, eh, eh. They'll be like, hey, and the guys are just like, eh. And that's what it means in Japanese is what. See, I got around to swearing here on Fortnite because they can't translate Japanese swear words or censor it. They don't know. Well, and the funny thing is that C Hearts guy, he tried to send me a message on the DM and on the chat thing, and he was just trying to ask me a simple question and whatever, and it literally censored everything he typed in. It was literally an entire paragraph of hearts. Like, bro, I don't swing that way. And he was telling me last night that he's into goth girls and goth women and everything else, and I'm like, what do you think Slayer Charlotte is? She's literally a gothic Japanese ghost. She's a yokai, a Japanese ghost. I can't believe it's been 4 years and I still, I haven't changed out of this skin. But I think I might be playing, Yomi more often. The new Battle Pass skin. one thing I've noticed is there isn't server lag on this one. Oh, I seen you were getting hit live or all the time or whatever on while you were grinding for rebirths and stuff. Oh, I guarantee you, if you were here on your 3,000 and something mod account, you'd there'd be literally server lag every 10 seconds because your power's just that great. It's over 3,000. Blah. They cannot compute. I need to bring One Punch Man and Demon Slayer here on the Fortnite. Yeah, I know they're gonna probably release Demon Slayer on here because of Slayer Simulator, and well, Demon Slayer is a good anime. But if they release One Punch Man on here and let you play as Tatsumaki, the Green Tornado chick that can use her mind and whatever, it's just like. No, it was a mode or whatever. They don't have the actual characters. They don't have Saitama and of course, if they made Tatsumaki the female character that, you know, uses her mind to throw rocks and other objects, you know, with her dress/split dress type thing or whatever she's wearing, they're gonna put shorts on underneath that just to censor her a little bit. Kind of like what they did with Raven on here. Yeah. Instead of giving her the whole leotard, full-blown leotard where you see legs, it's all covered up by fucking pants, and it's like, dude. Just look at even Katana from Mortal Kombat. They even did her dirty by making her wear shorts instead of her tunic, like what Kasumi wears on Dead or Alive, the Cheong Sam, the Chinese dress. Oh, hey, Mark. Are we the only two in the lobby right now? I think that's funny though that earlier I was telling you about the gaming badass guy or whatever it was, or badass gaming whatever, that was following me around. Every time I join the lobby and he's on here, he's always following me around until he can't go any further in the cave. Yeah, and he's doing that too. He'll hit you or do his little slash thing where he'll knock you back, and then he'll go running right back to the center of the thing. It's like, you fucking pussy. You know, if you stepped outside of there, I'd just tap your ass once and you'd burst into tiny little cubes. He thought he was, a badass and a high level, but then he sent me the best friend request thing or whatever, and looked at my level and was like, oh, yeah, he's much higher than I am. Oh, it's not even open right now. That's in 7.5 minutes. Me and Brian are perfectly synced on here doing the I am the visual emote. We were until he went off, I'm guessing, to the water side. Four and a half minutes. Back in the dark hole now. I had to come up and see a little bit of daylight left to catch some of that, vitamin D. My Ghost Slayer Charlotte character was looking a little whiter than normal. Just a little. Have you ever seen the anime Gegege no Kitaro, or seen anime where they're talking about Hinako, the ghost girl, the toilet ghost girl? Well, a lot of anime has Hinako, the Japanese ghost toilet girl, in, like Gegege no Kitaro, or a lot of other animes. That Hinako thing is actually based off of a real Japanese legend. No, it's actually a little girl that was bullied in the toilet, and she drowned in toilet water, and now even legend says that most Japanese students, they'll actually not enter the bathroom because they don't want the wrath of the Hinako to get them. I was just thinking with my Slayer Charlotte character, I'm like, she's a Japanese ghost character. I'm surprised they haven't released a Hinako skin on here, based off of Japanese legend and whatever else. It's been a while since I've seen it. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what type of yokai that is, because there's different forms of Japanese ghosts or yokai. I'm just trying to remember which one that is that just wears a mask and grows or consumes things and grows and grows and grows. I'm gonna have to. Right now, I'm looking it up. Thanks a lot, John. So the one that you see on Spirited Away, Onibaba in Japanese translates out to demon hag or demon witch. That's what she is. She's a demon hag or a witch. And that's what Oni is Oni translates into demon in Japanese. Unlock the next item for this 600 area. The next customization thing. The item, whatever it is. Yeah, for the last one, the level 450 one, I got it when I was 462. About to hit the 15 levels over and still haven't gotten it yet, so he might have upped it to like 25 or something. You know, before he said he's done with updating the leaderboard and updating Player Simulator. I actually met somebody a couple of days ago on here that they were trying to grind out levels to get onto the leaderboard, and I said, don't worry about it. One of my friends, John with the C, said that the guy that created this map and this server and everything said he's no longer updating the leaderboards or anything of the game for that matter. And he's like, oh. Like, you can still grind out levels to say he unlocked everything, but yeah. I told him you have better odds, and that's what I typed in the chat thing, was you have better odds of getting on a leaderboard on a death run than doing this. Oh wait, I remember who it was that I said that to. It was Seahard. Oh, and the funny thing is I'm guessing he said that and whatever, but now that he's had multiple people verify that, hey, the guy is no longer going to be updating the leaderboards or anything for that matter of Player Simulator, maybe it's kind of true and I don't really need to push myself so hard on levels and whatever else. I think that's when he said he was only gonna grind to the level 1000 mark, and then he was gonna call it good for a while. And it's like, why? That's when I told him, why not the 1500 mark? That way you unlock everything. Yeah, but only to 550? I'm still doing it, and I'm 615. I don't feel it. Of course, I have somebody to bullshit with. Kind of curious though, if the guy that created this set it up so when you unlock everything in the caves, if he set it up by, you know, sets of 2, so like the very beginning, you get the first item at, you know, level 2 or, you know, whatever, and then the next section of the cave is level, you know, whatever, you know, it increases to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and whatever. So like right here on the 600, I have to get to 616 to probably unlock it. Yeah. Kind of like the whole multiplication table thing. Or it could be 12, 24, 36, 45, something like that. Maybe. It's good. I'll see if it'll be, you know, 616 or 624 that I'll unlock it. About to hit 616 here in the next minute. I'd say 2 more kills of the group of enemies. Alright, now that I'm at 16, let's see if I'll unlock it. I know, I'm just seeing once you get to a certain point at 616, if it'll say congratulations, you unlocked this for this area, and, you know, whatever. I believe so. I haven't talked to this person in forever. No, this isn't Among Us mode, or, you know, or whatever it is the squeaker kids like to play. Starting to wonder, if I'm about to level up again, starting to wonder if we set it up to where it's 620 that you get this area, maybe 625. Hell, for all we know, it could be halfway between 600 and 800, so 700. Well, you would think so, considering, if I remember correctly, aren't you like a level 3000 or something? That's what it was. Oh, that's nice when the NPC enemies spawn on top of you. And then take half your health down. I got Goomba'd. The enemy literally bounced right off of my head. Are you still live? I haven't checked it on the charger. I'm still surprised that, you know, it's going on 9 a.m. and Dio isn't even on yet. Of course, it did show that he was on here 5 hours ago, but he was playing Jam Stage. He was probably up much earlier than that, and then at 5 a.m. he decided to, you know, log off and go to bed for a bit.